Hello, hello. I have to log into my Twitch account first, but I do believe that we are live.
Hello.
Over at Revolt
Right,
United.
I just noticed that.
Yep, we've got Duck as well as Honk bringing some commentary action at ya for the 4th session of the Revolt Cash Cup.
Exactly. This time we'll be racing circuits, and we have a nice variety of cars. If I'm being honest, like some of them are slower a bit, some of them are faster, and we also have more regular cars and some drift cars as well. So this will be interesting, and as a kind of a special race which hasn't been done a lot before. One of the tracks will be in the Vale.
Right, I'm super excited about that. SAF provided us with a never before seen track. Shout out to Famous for that sub. Welcome, welcome. So that will be super exciting. It'll be the first time that many people have seen it. It will be starting with Special Stage Route 5 as well as ending with Special Stage Route 5, but the starting Special Stage will be much more of a warm-up than the finale one will be, because we will be taking it to the rain in a rear-wheel drive car. So that's definitely going to be a little bit iffy. Might have some spin-outs on that one, as well as you mentioned, the drift cars. Will definitely pose a challenge. We also have some understeery cars in between, like the Bugatti, I felt like. I just tried to fit the cars to the tracks to make a varied and interesting experience that will test their adaptability. So we'll be hopping into it shortly. We are waiting on an IP at the moment. Oh, we do have an IP. So we will be coming at you with that.
Frost is starting the race.
It's time to revolt. Okay.
Make sure you're tapped in for the start.
Yes.
That could cause problems.
We will get you all the spreadsheet for the next race. Okay? So we are headed into Special Stage Route 5 with the Lotus Elise. This is going to be the warm-up race for these racers, because it's definitely the easiest of the combinations, if I do say so myself.
Warm up in the sense that they are warming up, literally, because in some cases warm up could mean that they don't count, but they are racing for points here as well.
They are indeed.
Oh, and there's a close race. Frost makes a mistake, and now G is leading.
Right off
with
the bat.
Lopeska, Powerade, and Nick fighting for second. Powerade messes up the chicane. That's the hardest part of the track for sure.
Definitely. Nick,
it's a
blocking. Make sure he's blocking Frost just a little bit there. I love to see that.
Yeah, because they are on the same car.
Won't matter too
Frost
much,
is not. Yeah, it's not gonna gain much. A potential leg boost could happen somehow, but yeah, the closest fight at the moment is them. Also, speaking of the last chicane, I think the reason it's really hard is because you arrive at high speed, you really have to slow down and kind of swing around. Nick makes a mistake in the meantime.
It looked like a little bit of contact from Frost as well, but yeah, and back up towards the front as Frost and Nick fall back from the pack a little bit. We do have Lopeska and G. G did have an early lead, but Lopeska only 1 meter behind at the moment. So it does seem like Lopeska's been taking a great line so far.
Yeah, Lopeska is going quite strong. I don't know if maybe he practiced, maybe not. Oh, it looked like G hit the curb, and those curbs are dangerous.
Very dangerous.
I don't think he actually did hit it. But if he does hit it, you could completely flip over, and you really need to avoid them.
And notice how Lopeska, G and Lopeska have very different strategies for that turn right there specifically. Not the chicanery, but before that, Lopeska going for the full-on wall ride. while G taking a tight turn there, and Frost is catching up. But yeah, like you were saying, on the little the bumps, if you hit it, so it in some situations it is your best line, right? Because it's like the most narrow path that you can take. But at the same time, if you hit it at the wrong angle, like right where it starts, your car will flip up into the air. You are done.
Yeah, you can hit the side of it.
Right.
But I think they'd rather implement it so that you cannot wall ride the turns and get away with it easily.
Right.
Although
Now
it can still
Lopezka,
happen.
I
Lopezka did
missed
mess
that.
up the wall ride.
Did he? Is that what happened?
I think it did, but
I was looking at Nick for just a second, and yeah, it looks like Frost has actually already passed up Lopezka and is now aiming for G. Let's see. 12-meter gap. It is pretty sizable for this track. We are only on lap 5, and as we've seen so far, little minuscule mistakes can add up to a lot, such as the bump in the road, as well as this turn and the chicanery. If you mess up in these portions, they can be extremely detrimental to your race.
it looks like Lopezka doesn't gain with the wall ride. This time it did not.
Gee.
Oh,
G having some major issues with the chicanery. I think he actually made it all the way through, but there's a place where the two walls connect, and if you are like kind of wall riding there, you will just bump straight up into the air. You won't be able to go anywhere.
he could also have just hit the wall badly and spawn, and I think someone bumped him further into the air, so that was interesting to see.
And Nick actually contesting with G as well. It looks like G taking these turns very slow. Nick is right on his tail. And they're actually catching up with Lopezka as well. It does look like Frost is going to be having a breakaway moment.
It does seem like Nick had some difficulties in the U-turn though. Not exactly sure what kind of difficulties.
Seems to be lagging just a little bit. So I couldn't really tell what was going on, but yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm not sure either. But he lost almost 20 meters, or yeah, maybe even a full 20 meters compared to G. So, Frost is now comfortably leading, with Lopezka in second and G in third.
And yeah, G is gaining. That wall ride is not helping. It's not doing Lopezka any favors at all. It is safe, I suppose. But the thing is, Lotus Elise on this track, it's stable, if I say so myself. So I don't think that the wall ride for the safety is doing him too many favors.
I have to say, I don't feel like G has been a consistent driver in general before, and I can see it in all cash cups. I'd say that he has good pace, but ultimately makes a mistake, and then he has to catch up again. And this happened again this time with him making a mistake in the chicane, and is now again behind Lopezka. He's quite fast. But
a fan brought up a great point, actually. Said to check out the best laps. I think that would be a great idea. We've got 48.1 for Frost, 48.35 for Lopezka, 48.18. So G and Frost are close, but Frost still beating by a pretty large margin. I mean, G and Lopezka are closer than G and Frost for the best lap currently. And then Nick actually with a
better best lap than G.
48.11. So almost as good as Frost.
I mean,
very close.
1, 2, yeah.
Nick has an amazing line when he's able to take it. And I do believe the radar messed up a little bit, at least on my screen. It's showing Parry as in first.
Yeah, that's not how the standings are.
Okay.
Yeah, Pavarit is in fifth, 74 meters behind Nick.
Okay. So,
Yeah, if I was speaking of people who have quite good pace and not that great consistency, then Nick is even more on that side of things than G. He, even in the Real World Endurance Championship, he usually gained more points for his best laps than for his positions.
Yeah.
Even though you get less points proportionally for best laps. So
I
usually
think
beat
that's
quite
a
a few
really
people in best lap.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point because I do think that Nick is a bit of an emotional driver, and I say that with the utmost respect because I am also an extremely emotional driver, and I hope he's not I hope he's not listening to this and getting his head over it. But I mean, I mean, he even beat his best lap. He's now gone to 48.113. I believe it was 0.118. So he's bringing the best laps, right? It needs to turn up on that consistency, find the best lap over and over again, and it can make some big gains. And Lopezka had a huge mistake. Nick had an overtake, but just barely hitting the corner, maybe looking at Lopezka's wreck.
I think he definitely got distracted and tried to change his. It tried to change his line probably to avoid the car that was on the track, but
I hate to see that.
Ended up in the wall.
Right. Hello, shout out to the chatters. Welcome. Joining on in.
So back to the question of Nick and or G. I don't really think it's an emotional thing. It might be more a focus thing. Like being able to focus for such long distances can be hard.
Okay. I can see that.
I feel like I personally also have these issues, so I don't know how it feels for them. But in the meantime, G is catching up to Frost a bit, I think. Made a 48, but they both made 48 zeros.
Oh, I just saw that. Yeah, Frost with a 48.014, G with a 48.052, and Lopezka with a 48.15 is, I believe that is an updated or a new best lap for him, but still not good enough to hold up against Nick. If Nick can bring the consistent, well, actually 32 meters though for Nick. We are only halfway into this race. Is something that we have to keep in mind. There is time for mistakes to happen, of course.
Yeah, but G has a 47.952 now.
Oh,
he's definitely seeing Frost and sensing blood.
Yes,
smelling blood.
Absolutely. No, the first 47 best lap in the race.
And seeing a car ahead of you right there is definitely a motivating factor.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's really helpful. I was gonna say you can see their line, but I don't think that's really too much of an issue for G. I think it's just the mental situation of cat and mouse, classic scenario, and G being the cat definitely has Frost on his heels, despite Frost being 20 meters ahead still.
Yep, and he definitely can see lines from there, unless they're in a turn that's not very tight, because in tight turns you lose sight of him. You only see him in straights, but it's more the moral thing.
And Nick and Lopezka are battling. So Lopezka has lost about a 30-meter lead, and Nick just barely in front of him at this point. Also, we have a question in chat about the scoring, so I think we can go ahead and go over that. we will be using the FIA point system. There won't be extra points for best lap. It will just be standard. I believe it's 25, 18.
Yeah, okay, so the FIA does use different ones for best lap in different series,
Oh.
but the base FIA system, I'd say, is the 25, 18, 15, and the bonus points are not really clarified, but we are not giving points for best lap, which...
Right. So I don't know if anybody noticed, but Lopesca, big run into the wall right there. The chicanery has been testing some of these racers. And we also see G 25 meters behind now, so has lost about 5 meters on Frost.
Yeah, it's not Frost to gain more pace, because even though he beat his best lap, that was like in lap 15, I think.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I
Frost
think he
is
lower.
He is under 47 seconds. But yeah, Nick 2 milliseconds away from a 47 best lap. So Nick
Lopesca made some big mistakes. He's 90 meters behind now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot to make back up.
Yeah, but also he's closer to Powerade now than to Nick.
You're right. Do you have Lopesca and Powerade, a battle that might be forming in the near future? For now, we will check back on the Frost and G situation, watching from Frost's perspective.
If Lopesca's consistency keeps on dropping, I'd say there's a chance for a Powerade Lopesca battle. Otherwise, he can keep forward, because 60 meters is a big gap, but Lopesca made a mistake again and Powerade is catching up. Even if Lopesca's best lap is a 48.1 and Powerade is a 48.6, Powerade is a lot faster because of Lopesca's mistakes, and it seems to be more consistent at the moment.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like, it might be human nature, or it might just be like, specific, people, but I feel like once you like, for me, for example, once I start messing up, it's difficult to get it back. Like once the mental gets broken and you like mess up at the same spot, or you mess up twice pretty close to each other, it really can start to get in your head. So Lopesca is going to need to have that mental fortitude, take a deep breath, and finish out these 4 laps, because the points are still relevant between Lopesca and Powerade, and he needs to hold on to those.
Exactly, and I feel like this could also go back to the cat and mouse thing you've mentioned.
Yes.
Because he messed up, but now Powerade is only 20 meters behind, so he's running.
G with a mistake in the... I don't know how you'd even the U-turn area, and that's going to cost him about another 6. Now that they're on the straight, it's about 35 meters behind, and he was, I believe, 25 in the straight. So
yeah, that's around 10 meters of a loss.
He's got some grounds to make up in these last, I guess,
4 laps.
Yeah. So let's see, Powerade and Lopesca. Powerade can't quite see Lopesca. They are on the same part of the track, but Powerade still got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, Powerade definitely made a mistake this lap. Because they were 20 to 30 apart, and now it's 60, so there has to have been a mistake somewhere. And G seems to have gained a bit on Frost, but I don't think it's enough unless Frost makes a mistake. He can't catch him unless Frost makes a mistake.
Right. And honestly, I don't think we've seen Frost make a mistake when we've been watching him. Again, the chicanery could be a spot, but it looks like he's been handling that quite well. We can go ahead and just sit on Frost for just a little bit, see how he's handling the track.
As you say that, G makes a big mistake. So
no! Right when I said that, I thought that was gonna happen. Oh man. So,
Commentators creates strikes in someone again.
Let's go ahead and check out Lopesca and Powerade though. So we got Lopesca head to the chicanery. Powerade now headed up to the chicanery. So it is still going to be quite a bit of distance. I don't know the exact number because of the radar. Do you have the distance?
Or is it's 69 meters in the
straight. Okay.
Almost 70. So yeah, Lopesca could. I see a higher chance for Lopesca messing up than Frost messing up though. So
that's very true.
If there's gonna be a position change, I'd say it's in the back of the pack than at the front.
As these racers finish out the last couple of laps, Lopesca heads for the wall ride. Looked a little bit shaky, but holds on to the wall. And he's headed to final lap. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this track, as you pointed out, this track is going to be scored, of course, but at the same time, I was viewing this as a bit more of a warm-up track. The other ones will be difficult in their own ways.
Yeah, in the next one we'll be having a drift car, so that's definitely gonna be interesting.
So G ultimately not going to be able to find it. Nick finishing it up, and yeah, looks
and
like
Lopesca's gonna keep.
Yep,
force.
It's just gonna play out. So there we go. I will try to pull up the spreadsheet now. More about that. Okay. Next is going to be the Dark Vale Forest. How many laps? 13.
Yeah, that one's less laps because of the fact that it's a drift car, and drift cars don't go fast in the turns. That's not their purpose.
So we will be taking just a little bit of a break while our host does a little something, and then we'll be headed to Darkerville Forest. Now, as you mentioned, I'm super excited about this track and car combination. It is going to be a drift car, which is definitely not what the Lotus Elise is. So it's going to be a massive switch up, and not just that, but I do believe Sunoda Heirloom is an RWD car, or at the very least, it's very picky. These drivers were most likely just holding the forward key for a majority of this last race with the Lotus Elise, but for this one with the Heirloom, they are going to be having to tap the gas, maybe brake at some specific parts, and it will really come down to how well they prepared and how well they can adapt to being put in this new situation. Not to mention, we've got Jimsonweeds on the Bugatti after this, and the Bugatti heavily understeers. So it's just going to be switched up time and time again.
I do predict that Frost is gonna win the Dark Vale Forest race. I can't say that for sure, but I know that Frost has experience with similar cars. Because we've raced drift sessions before and Frost was there. I don't remember seeing the other people much, and I know Frost was good at that. is still beatable for one thing, and for another, it could, even if Frost wins, we'll see. But there could still be a fight for second place, and
Right.
those are still important points.
Yes, yes. If you are new here, this is the Revolt Cash Cup. So these racers are playing for money. And so even if you don't win the cup, you can still win some cash. All of these points are going to be incredibly important. And also, we have 5 whole races. So even if Frost wins this next one, isn't guaranteed to win.
You still have the sheet over the stream.
I do.
In the meantime, they started racing, and 2 people already
We've already,
Favorite and Nick.
Right.
G, Frost, and Lopesca got away. They are 3 wide on the exit of that turn. G is on the outside, Frost is on the inside. G is gonna do an over-under there. Not sure if intentionally, but he definitely did that. And he's leading, but this is a slow turn. And
G cuts the corner.
G tried going in too fast there.
Meanwhile, Lopesca's in the grass. Gonna lose 2 positions. Power 8 pulling up through. Now this is an incredibly important situation. And Frost is gonna get the repo. G and Power 8 almost slamming into each other. They do manage to get through without any repo shenanigans though. Frost was already pretty far ahead, so that repo not gonna hurt him too much. And honestly, it might even be a strategic thing for him to just say, I ate that turn. I'm just going to take the repo. If it's not that bad. Lopesca getting repoed as well on the tip of that corner.
I mean, Frost still lost a bunch of time with that.
Okay,
and I mean, it might be a bit more consistent with the intentional repo and faster than accidental repoing. It's still only lap 1, so it wouldn't make sense for him to intentionally do that, I think.
Okay.
G is close.
Oh!
And Frost runs on the grass. G is a bit wide here. Frost is back in the lead. This is the part last time G messed up. He learned from his mistake, it seems, and he went in there slower at a lower pace. Let's see how they take the chicane if they get that spot. Frost is really slow in that. She's going really careful too.
Ooh, Lopesca looked like he almost got repo. Power 8 going to be getting a repo. Gives Nick a bit of a chance in there, but Nick is going to get the repo as well. Chooses not to slow down for that chicanery. Is going to get punished hard for it.
Yeah, Nick got repoed both laps, and I think that's why he's quite a bit behind. I also don't think he has much drifting experience, so...
Frost actually goes into the grass before the turn, stays in the grass. After the turn, G is going to be taking it super hard, but then G gets repoed. Well, it looked like he was pushing into Frost and had that turn, but no, he is going to get the repo, goes off the side. It's going to be a massive setback. Now, Frost has all the time in the world, but they're both going into the grass a little bit, making me a little bit nervous, but ultimately holding on. Lopesca waiting in the wings for these racers to make a mistake. Actually has fallen back a little bit. No, it's still okay. Still okay. Ooh,
oh, I thought she was gonna get repoed. I think he was on a different line on his screen.
Oh, yeah. That scared me. Okay, here comes
it's
the spot.
Chicane time.
Oh,
that going very safe. G. Oh, that was interesting. He ran full speed mid-turn and then basically wallbang.
Right. I
wonder if that's a viable strategy long run.
I don't know.
It's more of a mistake to make. And also a mistake waiting to happen, because running into the wall and grass with these cars is quite risky. Especially on this track where the grass is rather grippy. It slows you down.
Much. Yes.
I've noticed that characteristic of Sap's tracks, that she doesn't make them slippery. It's more punishing in a different way.
Right. Now, I looking at the best lap, honestly, I'm kind of shocked that the times are what they are. I heavily underestimated the abilities of these racers. My estimated best lap was like 10 seconds slower than what this is, and I know, yeah, I don't know. They are really tearing it up. We got 16.18 for Frost, 16.61.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
then.
go.
But G wallbanged again, as far as I could tell. So
I missed it.
it's interesting if he's going for it.
Right, we'll have to check next time. See if he keeps doing it. Lopesca, the 17.286. And then 18.675 on power rate and 20 for Nick. So I would say a much bigger difference for the best laps.
Just did a 115.8 and G did a 116.0. They're both going quite strong. And G again matches Frost's pace almost. And I'd argue that he is more consistent relatively than the previous race, because I think he made more mistakes. But this is a drift car. You're expected to make more mistakes.
I know. They have made so few mistakes compared to what I expected.
Did I curse you again? Because he made the mistake as soon as I mentioned that.
G? Oh, I mean, Frost does not get reset there. G, it doesn't go for the wall bang that time, as far as I could tell. Lopesca.
Yeah.
Heads
Went
on
on the
through.
inside for sure.
Power 8.
I guess he goes for...
Ooh.
I guess he goes for the wall bang if he messes up the entry of the turn.
Okay.
Because it's a bit of a save for a decent turn. Because if you have a good entry, you can exit Vale on the inside, on basically the curb. But with a bad entry, you're either gonna run into the repo or run wide, and the wall can save you from going too wide. I mean wider, because you can't really run wider than the wall.
Right. Let's head on over, check out G for a little bit. Now G is going to be sitting comfortably in second, but he is drifting quite a ways away from that first place position. Now, the race isn't quite halfway over, and these cars are not stable. So despite the early lead for Frost, there is a lot more comeback potential in this track and car combination than the one before it.
Yeah, but she's still not that far in this race, so...
Oh, and I thought that was a repo. Ultimately not going to be a repo, and he doesn't even get stuck in the grass.
It looked like he was saving it from the repo by going a bit wider on the left turn of the chicane. Oh, Lopesca gets stuck in the grass. Is that gonna be a repo as well?
And Power 8 has caught up. Power 8 challenging for third place, and he's not a repo trigger there, fortunately for them.
Yeah, repo triggers are only on the inside and inside of curves.
Lopesca.
You should be able to use the curve fully.
Oh, he's getting a lot of speed in these turns. Power 8 ultimately has the lead going into the next sequence here.
Oh, there's a
big
push.
bump.
Unintentional push, but
not gonna be a repo though.
yeah, that's actually gonna help Power 8, I see.
Yeah.
Because he was on the very inside of the next turn. Are they gonna make the chicane? Lopesca makes it a lot better. He's now ahead.
Lopesca said, "Get out my way." Big turn coming up. And one more. And he makes it through. Lopesca's holding on to third.
But it's really close. Also, I'd like to mention, if you think about it, Lopezka got fourth in the previous race, Nick got third. Nick, I'm pretty sure, is gonna finish last in this one. So if Lopezka finishes third, he's gonna be third in the standings as well. Which is a prize-paying position.
Ooh,
but no, they have very different lines in those turns. Powerade runs more on the inside, I think. Lopezka's running wider. I don't know if that's intentional or he messed up his lines.
No! And you really hate to see that happen because that's not one of the most challenging spots. It was really just a lapse in judgment just for that moment there. And that was all that he needed for that repo. Now Lopezka on a breakaway. Let's check out
I
G
guarantee you
and
Powerade is gonna run more riskier now.
Yeah. So we do see a big difference between Frost and G here. 80 meters to be specific. 4 laps remaining. And a 15.12 for Frost. 15.4 for G, but he gets the repo on the curb right when I tune in. And that's going to just set him back further. Now let's check back out on Lopezka and Powerade. Powerade, 40 meters.
Oh, he's on the grass.
Yeah.
He returns, manages to rejoin because there was enough straight there to rejoin fairly safely, although it was still a challenge for him for sure.
That's quite a risky section if you get in that grass, trying to get out of it on a car like this, but he manages. No unfortunate repos, but he does go into the grass just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's back in the grass!
Powerade has turned on lawnmower mode, but let's see if he can bounce back. There's still 4 laps to go. And Lopezka also is making a few mistakes, I think. And isn't as fast as G and Frost for sure. Lopezka, just as I say that, runs into the repo. Okay, so Powerade is now closer again.
It doesn't seem like it has a huge impact. Yeah, I was going to say. And Lopezka does have a pretty sizable best lap advantage on Powerade at the moment. The track is starting to wind down. We're headed into lap 10 of 13. And he's in the grass.
Powerade is running wide again. He's definitely risking a lot here. He's trying to get closer to Lopezka.
It's super understandable, too. He has a lot of margin of error, and it's really just 2 different decisions that you can make. The first being, I'm going to hope that my opponent messes up, and I'm going to play safe. Or the second being, I'm going to try to gain those 40 meters by, I mean, you also, at this point, you're also hoping that Lopezka messes up. But risky driving on the side of Powerade might be what he needs to find those extra meters on the back of like a repo or a spin out by Lopezka.
Yeah, exactly. Just like now, he ran into repo, I'm pretty sure, and this time it's a big loss.
It's very sizable loss. Is going to be down to 20 meters.
As you mentioned, now comes the question of risk versus consistency for Powerade. I think if I was Lopezka, I'd be running safe, because he's ahead by 20 meters. That
also sizable
that can
best
maintain
lap
for
advantage.
3 laps. That too, but if you're running safe, the best lap advantage is not that significant.
But
Yes,
if
you're
your
running
best
slower.
lap is already better, then you can afford to do that safe and still have the pace advantage.
Maybe, but I
Powerade
think running... Oh,
does get out of the grass once again. He is really recovering from these situations extraordinarily well as the chicanery comes up.
so it's 40 meters between the two of them now, and
It's starting
Yeah,
to
I
fall
think-
apart. It really is. Checking back in on G and Frost for just a little bit. We see G with a 14.8 and Frost with a 14.8 as well. Only 2 laps remaining for them and a 90-meter gap for Frost. He's got to be feeling good about this one.
Yeah, if anyone, Frost can run safe. And G can definitely run risk all out, because Lopesca's 300 meters behind.
Has a lot
There's
of
no
buffer.
way he could
Yeah,
catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only viable position change is Powerade and Lopesca once again, because they were one of the closest battles in the previous race as well.
And
But Powerade keeps running on the grass. Lopesca seems to be running a bit more consistent
I would
than
agree with
a
that.
few laps ago, but still 1.5 laps left. And they're about one mistake apart, not anymore. Although if Lopesca makes a bigger mistake,
How does he
Then-
manage to recover? I have
That was
no
nice recovery, but-
idea.
he did use the wall for it, I think.
I know. Well, I have tried to recover in that specific scenario, but and he gets a repo.
Yeah, that one's
Oh,
the toughest repo, I think,
man.
all around the track.
That's a
I
rough
think it's
repo.
going away from it.
Alright.
It's going away from
Oh,
him
no.
completely.
But still, the way that he spun out there and just quick thinking, uses the wall to steady himself. I've tried to recover from a spin out position or a spin out situation on this car numerous times, and I have failed every single time.
Yeah,
So
that was nice, but the one thing I want to mention is that the momentum of the car was definitely useful in that recovery, and I'm not sure how the center of mass works on these, but it was a nice recovery, and also Frost is about to cross the finish line
Yeah.
for lap 13.
yeah. And we are watching G right now. Gonna be pulling up close behind in second. Frost's consistency is world class, and honestly, I mean, I saw what he had a repo on the first lap, and since then just nothing. Incredible performance by Frost, and as well by G. G, only 5 seconds behind, had the same best lap essentially as Frost, unless Frost got another best lap there, and he did. Frost was on 14.39. Wow, so ended up being a 500 millisecond gap, but up until the last lap or so, they actually had very similar best laps. So G had the potential there at a couple points, but a couple key repos stood in his way from being able to catch Frost. And we do see Nick pulling it up in the rear.
Yeah, Nick was definitely struggling this race, I guess. That's what he referred to before the race.
He did say that. He did say that.
He did say Dorifto will be hard, and
Yeah.
time to prepare myself to get wrecked,
Well,
in his words. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Powerade said 114 WTF, and that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I am literally saying WTF right now. I have no idea what just happened in that race. We honestly might need some analysis, some cheating analysis. Investigate Frostbitten's top speed there. Make sure that it was a legitimate time, because oh my god, 14.39 is just, I mean, it's insane on this track with this car. So, as you can see, Frost up to 50 points. The positions, what do you think about the positions so far?
let me quickly take a look. I think the fight for third is gonna be interesting. Nick seems to not be too good on the drift cars. I wonder how the next race is gonna be. That's a quite different car. Jimsonweeds is also a new track, but I think it's similar in terms of layout to Dark Veil Forest.
Yes, so this is going to be a massive change compared to the Sunoda Heirloom, Bugatti Veyron SS, Super Sport. My assessment of it would be that it's very fast and also very understeer, but also a lot of control.
We'll see how it goes. I do believe Nick is a good driver, so who can get that third position? And on regular combos, I'd say he, like on Toyekas, is usually he often does better than Powerade or Lopesca. But this is a different car, so Lopesca and Powerade could have a chance at it. I'm not sure if G is gonna be able to challenge Frost. This is a very unused car online, so... And G is good at irregular cars.
That's so true. That's actually so true.
I'd still put my vote for the final win for Frost. It's not hard to do that after 2 wins out of 5 races. But... yeah. I think that could be a bit of a fight for first.
Powerade showing that he has been testing this track. So we might see some contenders for some positions here. Could switch it up. Keep in mind, we are approaching the halfway point, but we're not there yet. So, and I still got that pulled up. Good to go.
Okay, so Frost and Lopez could get off to a good start. Wow, okay, this car is really, really fast. Powerade is leading so far. I wonder how the positions will be in the first few turns. I mean, we're already past the first few turns, and we haven't really crashed much. I think the speed of the cars makes for a cleaner start.
We have seen people hitting each other, though. Like differences in lines, and with the car being so understeered, it's hard to correct for other people in the moment.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, just like that,
bam!
Powerade.
And Lopesca, oh, that was a scary Momo, but he does emerge out of it. Nick challenging, and he gets that repo. Oh no, big U-turn repo. Was challenging second place. Has a great pace though. And we are this track is significantly shorter than the last one, so we do have 35 laps of it.
Yeah, and the cars are a lot faster as well. Oh, Nick and Powerade are getting in the... He put out his shoulder.
Oh no! I thought that there wasn't a repo there after what happened. I remember. Oh no! Okay, we're gonna go ahead. Go, but rest our eyes somewhere else for just a moment. We have G, Frost, Lopesca in a super close battle. Only about 20 meters separating all three of them at the moment. Might change a little bit as they go into straight, but neither here nor there. Frost just whipping it through. G, amazing little tap on the bump there.
So their best laps are quite similar, but I do wonder if playing it safe is the best strat on this track, because these cars are really fast. Just going safe in the turns might make for consistent, somewhat fast laps. And G just did another 31-0, while Frost definitely didn't do better than a 31-4. G is visibly getting closer.
Oh my god, they're already on top of each other here. As they go into the turn, G gonna be slowing down for Frost just a little bit. Frost goes off the stage. Does recover. And G slowing down it just a little bit, almost losing, and Frost on the turn.
Yeah, what I saw was that G had a bad line. He almost hit the wall. I had to brake because of that. And now Frost is fighting Lopesca for second because of his mistake. Oh,
my god.
they're doing over-unders on each other in every turn. Lopezka's going strong at the moment.
Lopezka really turning it up on this track, and he is just getting hit here and there by Frost. Hey, eventually lets him go ahead, but Frost in the grass now, and this is where he messed up last lap. And does he send Lopezka flying? Does not. Lopezka holds on. They both go into the grass, head to the straight next lap. Lopezka taking that turn crazily, and he messed up there, and a couple laps earlier he messed up right there. That's something that I was going to mention as he gets another repo, was that despite Lopezka's mistake, he was able to catch Frost. That's how big Frost's mistake was on that track, or on that lap at this part right here. But now that I've said that, there's been some major mistakes from Lopezka. Frost taking that turn way too narrow is going to hit the repo trigger, and G out in a big lead, 80 meters.
One thing I can say is that I think Frost went very much on the inside in the bank turn, and that's why he kind of flew away. And that's what his big mistake was. And now he's 100 meters behind G. So I think the fight with Lopezka cost him a bit, but also Lopezka is still not that far. His best lap is 31.5, Frost is at 31.4. So we have a track where it seems like G's pace is better.
And Lopezka struggling with the repos these last couple laps. And he looks like he might get another one. He doesn't. Was very close though.
And it's not just G's pace. His consistency so far is really strong. He's about to do a 30.9 for his new best lap.
Wow.
While Frost is running 31s and 32s. G has been running 31 so far, I think, and he now gets repoed, but other than that, he's quite clean so far. So Frost definitely has a lot of gap to make up.
And Powerade and Nick are going to be occupying 4th and 5th for the moment. Both of them, a bit of work to do. Definitely recoverable in a car like the Bugatti. As you said, it goes so fast. One mistake can give you a lot of grounds. Lopezka and Frost. Lopezka in the yellow here, as low as 19 meters at some points, even 15 in the turns. He's getting super close to Frost.
The one thing I do wonder the most about is the bank turn, because that could be different lines in that one. Maybe going high would be better for consistency. Oh, Lopezka makes a small mistake there. So yeah, going high, you can you don't have to turn as much, and as such, you also have a lower chance of flying away or just crashing out because of a too tight turn.
Right.
Lopezka definitely is aided with that line by the banking. At the moment, Frost is not making mistakes either, but
the thing is, he honestly hasn't gained that much ground on Lopezka, despite looking super strong as I'm watching Lopezka's perspective.
Lopezka has a 31.0. I've just noticed
Amazing.
that. Frost's best lap is still a 31.4.
Right. So consistency is really carrying him.
Not anymore.
As we say that, does turn into 31.167, so just about the same. But G with that 30.511. And G gets a repo. So that lead that G once had, it is going to be chopped, at least by a little bit.
And at the same time, Lopezka went on the grass, so he's also quite a bit behind Frost now. Let's see if Frost can climb back up, because he seems to be gaining consistency. He did a 31.0. G has a 30.5 as a best lap. Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
And G with another repo. that is going to be the doorway that Frost needed, and you know that Frost is metaphorically licking his lips at the sight of this. Maybe physically doing it as well, honestly. I mean, he's so close, he can almost taste it. 30 meters behind G at this moment. And okay,
he right.
Dodges the repo. Scary moment.
Yeah, it does seem like G lost a bit of consistency, but also Frost gained a lot of that. Maybe it's just Frost, and G has been making small mistakes that weren't noticeable because the others were making more. But now Frost found some pace, and he is getting closer.
Just to do a quick sweep on the other contestants while we've got a second. The gaps have grown between 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They have widened. Much more progress needs to be made. And actually, G potentially going to be lapping shortly, which we haven't seen any lapping yet as far as I know. So this will be a very interesting scenario as lapped cars come into the mix, and first and second only being about 50 meters between each other on the straights. So it could definitely play a huge role in how the race plays out.
I think they made similar best laps in the previous. I mean, similar laps, not similar best laps. So they had similar last laps, Frost and G. Not sure about this time. This time Frost made a 30.9, but we can see G's lap. He definitely didn't base his best lap, but it's 0.4 better than Frost, so that doesn't mean much. G seems to be on the grass in some point. We're gonna get a view of that gap at the start-finish line.
I mean, G, we watched G for this entire lap, and wow. Looking super confident. Like, he knows the line, and yeah, is currently on it.
Yeah, the gap between them is around 2.3 seconds, I'd say. So Frost needs to be faster by that much overall. Over the upcoming 15 laps, but G is pulling away.
Right, that tells me we might need a mistake out of G if Frost hopes to bring it back. I don't, just because, as I say that, Frost does have a new best lap, 30.9.
No, I think he did that on lap 19.
Okay. A big mistake, though, and a very uncharacteristic mistake from Frost. Runs into the wall, has to back up. Isn't going to be a repo, but is going to lose.
That's still a huge mistake.
A lot of time, nonetheless. Yeah.
G does around the 30.9 from what I can tell. Frost does around the 33.9, 33.8 rather.
Right.
So that's almost a 3-second loss. When they crossed the line, they were about 5 seconds apart now, and that's like almost half a second a lap that Frost needs to be faster by. Which is gonna be really hard on pace if G can keep up how he is going.
Super difficult.
A low 31 again.
And Powerade and Nick are actually in a battle now. Powerade seems to have made some mistakes, and it is giving Nick that opportunity to snag some more points.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this is an interesting fight for third in the point. Lopesca is 200 meters, almost 200 meters ahead of them, so I don't think Lopesca is in this battle at the moment in this race. And also, Lopesca is ahead of both of them in the standings, so this will be interesting to see. Oh, G just left Nick. Oh, Nick ran into a repo.
Oh no.
But yeah.
That is going to be a bit of a reset for Nick.
I wonder if Nick is going to be a bit stronger in the upcoming two races.
Ooh.
If he was not strong in the previous race, I don't think he'll be strong in the wet one.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know about the next one.
So with the Ferrari, it's hard to say. It's definitely hard to say.
The gap between G and Frost seems fairly stable at the moment.
G now coming up on his second lap target. Gonna have to get around power 8. And
Yeah, it's almost 6 seconds between G and Frost, by the way.
wow.
Power 8 isn't gonna hold him up, of course.
Well, let's see. Nick is now very close to power 8. Power 8 letting him by, but I mean...
Oh, Frost is gonna lap them soon. I wonder if he's gonna be coming up on a battle here.
So this
I don't
is
think
a
he's
battle.
close to them yet.
This is a battle for 4th and 5th, but the points, like we've been talking about, we can show the spreadsheet afterwards. But that 3rd place battle, if Nick gets some points here, he's definitely gonna be happy about it.
Exactly, and he's really on power 8. He's now ahead after an over-under in the U-turn. Let's see if he can keep it, and if he doesn't, for how long can he keep it?
Okay.
Oh, he used the grass for turning. I think that was not intentional, but he jumps into the wall, basically.
They both almost went flying, but Power 8 holds on. Power 8 taking 4th back for the moment, only 13 meters. Nick gets an unfortunate repo, and Frost is going to be able to pass right there, so...
Yeah, Power 8 still has to let Frost by, so this will be interesting. Because Nick might gain some time for that, depending on where Frost is. Yeah, Frost is right between Power 8 and Nick at the moment. Oh, both of them hit the wall, both Nick and Frost, but Power 8 makes a mistake too.
Yeah.
The 3 of them are really close. Remember, Frost is a lap ahead of them. So Power 8 is probably gonna let Frost by somewhere. If he can find a place for it. Yeah, that was quite clear, and he didn't lose much time.
I mean, it's so close, you know? Like, if I was Power 8, I would be like, no. I'm sorry, but no. No.
He would have lost more time
by hitting
because of
Frost
potential, yeah.
Yeah.
But Nick is right back on him and ahead of him now. But it runs way too deep in that turn into the repo. Oh wow!
Big ass repo, and yeah, 80 meters. Blink of an eye, 120. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly, fam. She needs 2 wins to be in a tied competition for the final race. Lopesca is making mistakes.
Yeah.
Lopesca is only 100 ahead of Power 8, and but Power 8 runs into the repo. I do wonder how Nick feels about that double repo he got, because
my god,
that must be infuriating. I think he stopped for a second. So Frost and G are 150, but it seems to have become comfortable for G at the moment. My apologies. So,
no worries. Quite an exciting race. It's understandable. So we got 200 meters, G and Frost, 500 between Frost and Lopesca. These places have really started to settle down. G, a huge buffer going into these final laps. Feel free to look around at the places, but I'm going to be sitting on G. Now, what were you saying?
I'm just confirming that G is quite safe. I think if there's gonna be any changes, it will be in the back, because Power 8 is ahead of Nick, but it's between 60 to 100 meters.
G makes a mistake, but it doesn't get a repo and does recover, so it's not going to be. Now he gets a repo though, and this it could follow.
Yeah, but it's 180 meters ahead. It's like 12 seconds between the two of them. Frost is just playing it safe now,
Okay.
not trying to interfere with
G
the race of the lap car.
more mistakes on the bump. Still has 200 meters. It's 250
Yeah,
meters.
I think he's gonna be safe now. The question is rather Nick Powerade and maybe Lopesca. Lopesca has been messing up quite a bit. Frost is letting Nick by this time.
Right.
He's been messing up. He has no chance of catching G. Let's see if Nick can catch Powerade, because that got a bit closer still, I think. Nick has a better best lap as well.
31.43.
And he's gonna... Yes.
And
So G wins the race. But the three of them still have a lap to go. They complete all the laps.
I'd like to
They
know.
aren't gonna finish when they run across. So
Powerade
must
yeah,
have done
yeah.
well.
He thought he was done. Maybe, I don't know, but he is actually slower than Nick by 0.5 seconds. Best lap is slower than Nick. So
this is the fight we're looking out for in the final lap, and this is affecting third in the standing. Nick, can he do anything in the U-turn? Oh, it might come down to the bank turn and the last few slow turn. Which one of them are gonna do it better?
And they both wreck.
messed up.
Oh, Nick hits a repo.
Nick is running across the repo.
And he just stops. Oh God. What a close battle. He goes for a pit stop. Oh man. I would be going. You need to get that car inspected after that. Oh my God. Powerade versus Nick there in the final turns. That was insanity. So I think we could do another 2-minute break here to give the racers just a short chance to compose themselves for the final 2 battles.
And yeah, like we've mentioned, G was strong on the irregular car. So he's now 7 points behind Frost. And as Fem mentioned as well, if he wins the next race, they're tied going into the final round because they both have 2 wins and 2 second places.
Okay. So, quick little break, and then we'll be hopping back into it. I have got the spreadsheet pulled up if you want to update that really quick, and we will get into the next race.
Yeah, so taking a look at the standings, it clearly seems like Frost and G have all the second places so far, and I don't expect that to change in the final 2 races. So this means that Nick needs... If Nick gets 2 second places, Lopesca needs at least 1/5 for him, for Nikon to get third.
For the stream.
Yeah, so Frost has 68, G has 61. The important thing is the 7-point gap. It's 7 points. That's all we need to know because that's 1 win. So G is 1 win away from Frost. If Frost wins the next race, he's not guaranteed the victory, but I think we can call it a guarantee because G would need to finish last for in the last. No, I mean Frost would need to finish last in the last race for G to win then. So Frost winning this basically guarantees him the victory, not mathematically, but.
And
as for Lopesca has 42 points. There's no way he's catching G at this point. Again, unless mathematically it's still possible, but otherwise I wouldn't. I think he won't do that. So 42 for Lopesca, 35 for Nick, and 34 for Powerade. There's 8 points between Powerade and Lopesca, and 7 points between Lopesca and Nick. So both Powerade and Nick still have a chance at third. We'll see if they can, how close they can come to beating Lopesca. They both need to beat him at one of the races. if one of them is to get third.
Yeah, big F for G. Not much that I can say. Honestly, I don't think that the session is particularly longer than any of the other ones, so no really comment to make. But yeah, so that's going to be super unfortunate for G. Is really going to need to get some major points to lock down one of the podium positions. But we are headed now into the Ferrari on green Haze Valley, I believe, and we've already got a repo on the track. It is going to be Nick getting sent a ways back. G and Frost are in the battle, and now this is going to be an incredibly important part of the race. G getting repoed, Frost getting repoed, Nick as well getting a repo, and the positions have already been completely swapped up. We got Powerade and Lopesca. This has been a continued storyline throughout our races. Lopesca giving Powerade a bit of a bump right onto that repo, and now Frost, second place contender. No repos this time around. All the racers very close to each other. Lopesca holding on to that first place position by quite a nice margin, but is going to need to nail these jumps, and it's going to be very difficult with 43 laps to find that consistency. And Frost is in the pit stop. Frost taking a quick pit stop and is going to lose 2 positions to that. I don't know if it was faster to just repo at that point, but either way, oh my god. Powerade gonna let him by just a little bit. Then emerges back in that third place, holding on to it. Let's see if any repos go out. This is going to be a very scary situation. No repos. Got Nick as well, waiting in the wings, but is going to have some trouble in the grass area. Big U-turn. No trouble so far.
So I am here.
Welcome back, welcome back. We are in lap 5. We saw some major repos on the first lap, and Frost even accidentally took a pit stop. He almost just did it again. He did on my screen, fortunately not on his screen.
I do wonder if he's gonna run the rest of the race on these tires, since he pitted so early. Anyway, I see that G is leading, so this matters a lot for him in the points. Lopesca's second.
Very
Lopesca
true. Big repo though.
Never mind what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Lopesca is in repo.
Not good.
So Frost, after taking a pit stop, is still 11 meters behind.
Incredible. Very incredible.
Yes.
Nick!
And he has a better best lap than G. Maybe he determined that a different set of tires will be faster. So moving on from the Frost pit stop topic, it seems like they're both having decent pace so far here with G. Powerade and Lopesca are about as far away from each other as Powerade is from Frost, and Nick is running far in the back at the moment, but we've seen what happened in the previous race. Nick was running in the back until like the very end where he battled Powerade. Lopesca's also in the pits.
No, Lopesca. I miss that, unfortunately. I do always love to see some pit stops though, especially when it's literally just on a straight. Like I don't understand how they're getting caught in the pit stop, but you know, so it's very alluring.
More because it's definitely more because it's the exit of a chicane, which is a right turn, and the pit lane is on the outside. So they take the turn with too much speed. Oh, Nick runs into Lopesca.
Not going to be able to pass him up. That would have been nice though. And I'm curious if there's anything happening at the front. It's a good distance between them. Powerade Was closer to G, but with a pretty large
G
mistake.
G was ahead, I think, the last time we
That's
checked.
right. Yeah. We missed it. Might have been a repo like somewhere like right here, for example, where Lopeska and Nick are. Let's see, Lopeska and Nick continuing to battle it out. I do want to check in on the Frostbitten situation though, as Frost has a 40-meter lead on G at the moment, and I think that we can take a moment to look at best laps. We already are in lap 12, so we got G with the best lap by about
only 30 milliseconds.
Right.
So it's really close, but G does seem to have the same pace as Frost. The issue is again he's not very consistent on this car, and as Frost is running away, it seems like the overall win is gonna potentially fall into his hands in this race.
We see the racers not making many mistakes at all on that jump anymore, not really seeing any more repos, but we will definitely see more repos there as the race continues. I have a very strong feeling about that, especially as some of these racers continue to battle it out with each other. Lopeska and Nick, a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and Nick is also still close to Lopeska. And Lopeska is making a mistake as well. They're really struggling for consistency here, but
Lopeska off in the grass. Nick almost starts to go into the grass on that U-turn.
She also makes a mistake, and Powerade is now running second. So I did say that I expected G and Frost to be 1-2, but at the moment, G is only third. Powerade has that second place. And if he keeps that, it could be really important for him. But there's still 2/3 of the race to go. So it's gonna be hard for him, for sure. And he runs into a repo.
Very unfortunate repo there. It looked like he had made it through that entire sequence, but gonna get caught on his back toe by the repo. Now, one thing that I did want to bring up is based on the points, G could potentially not race and still get third. I don't know if that's a possibility. I feel like it could be if G got first in this race. Maybe second, but I'm not sure.
If G gets second and Powerade gets third, then I'm pretty sure. Wait, even now, he could just not race. Wait, never mind that, because if he doesn't race, he doesn't get points. Not even for 5th place.
Right.
But he's gonna gain 3 points on P3 if he finishes second. So even if Lopeska gets third, which seems a bit unlikely at the moment, because he's running 5th. Even then, they'll be 22 points apart, and 25 is what you get for a race win. So as long as Frost wins the next race, I think G should be safe in second.
Okay.
Even if he doesn't race, but I don't think that's a possibility. He's gonna race the last race.
And I was going to say that Nick was catching up on Powerade, but unfortunate at that chicane spot is gonna get the repo and started being closer to Lopeska. Ultimately doesn't seem to be getting too close to Lopeska, but has dropped down from his position as 3rd place contender, at least for the moment. About halfway through, lap 20 of 43.
Yeah, and it seems like the gaps between Nick, Powerade, and Lopeska, not in that order, in between Powerade, Nick, and Lopeska, are around the same, and they're giving each other some time sometimes, but then the other people give it back. So like, it's overall fairly stable. Nick is gonna want to run for third, I think, though. That's his best shot at beating Lopezka. And he is faster on pace than Powerade.
Oh my
but
God.
it runs into Repo, so Lopezka is now behind him.
Ooh, dodges
Powerade-
another one. Oh, Lopezka though.
And
Is-
from
yeah.
Powerade's perspective,
Yeah.
it's crucial that Lopezka stays behind Nick.
Yes.
Because Powerade's 8 points behind Lopezka. So this would be a 5-point gain. Was it 8 points? Yeah, it's 8 points. So Powerade needs to gain these 5 points on Lopezka, and Lopezka makes a mistake again. So that's good for Powerade, and that's good for Nick, who he was catching up to. Powerade is running away a bit at the moment. Wonder if he's running safe or he just has better consistency in general on this combo.
Right. But yeah, as you were saying, this 4th and 5th bell actually going to be incredibly relevant, and it's definitely not locked down yet, but a big repo from Lopezka. And the lap is able to let Frost by.
Yeah, this track is also very short, just like the previous one. In fact, this one is shorter on lap times and length as well.
Right.
So it was expected, but Lopezka has a bad turn. and
Gives Frost a
someone-
little pop.
Yeah, it looked a bit like he dive bombed. I assume especially looked like that from Frost's perspective.
Yeah.
There was definitely no intention behind that.
Right.
He just
right.
missed the line, and he has different lines than Frost. He was running on the inside on the entry. He's definitely running tight inside, and I mean tight entry and wide exit, unlike Frost, who is the other way around.
Now,
And it seems like Frost's lines are working well for him.
I did just tune over to Nick, and I saw the numbers decreasing quite rapidly between Nick and Powerade. I do think Powerade got a repo, and it is going to be a battle for 3rd and 4th. We'll have to see, is Powerade able to compose himself and go repo free for the remainder of this race?
Well, there's still 16 laps to go, which will be around 8 minutes. It's gonna be hard to go that much with good consistency, especially since they don't know the car and track that well. I think the hardest turn is the one where you go downhill and then there's a right turn. Oh, Nick runs into the repo. So Powerade now has a bit of a breathing room. But still, like I mentioned, the last 2 sections are the hardest.
Right. Yeah.
The last turn is a chicane, basically, so...
That downward
that's
slope
sections.
scares me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I think we've only seen Nick have a major problem with that repo. But when I was testing this combo, that downward slope, it was pretty scary.
And Nick goes for a pit stop, so now Lopezka is gonna be catching up, not just catching up,
Lopezka
but
with the
passing
pass.
him.
50 meters.
The gap between Powerade and G is 100 meters also. Yeah, so Powerade needs Nick to beat Lopezka, like we mentioned, but Nick is the 3rd driver in the race to make a pit stop.
Incredible.
I guess the tires don't like the surface.
They're not lasting too long. Yeah. And Frost 300 meters on G. Oh my god. Still has 13 laps remaining.
Yeah, I think we can book Frost as the winner of the race, and as such, probably the winner of the event.
Is still money to be made on the line though. 2nd and 3rd. are in the money.
Especially third. And G is second in the race, second in the standings, but in the race, Powerade isn't that far in case of potential mistakes by him. 100 meters is not that much on such a fast car if you make a mistake or two and get repoed or get on the grass and spin or run through the pit lane as 3 others have demonstrated.
Right.
I think Nick lost the most on that though, because Nick already slowed down and as such he didn't carry the momentum with him.
Now, Nick is fighting back though. Now, as I say, it does fall back a little bit further, but I think that was because of the U-turn there. Does seem to be about 50 meters. Well, I guess 75 now. Bit of a... It's honestly a bit of a scary situation for Lopesca for sure. For the same reason that you just mentioned, the high speed on the cars, it makes a gap like that look like a lot, but it can really be turned around in just one repo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Checking in on the other racers, Powerade on an island, G on an island, Frost on an island. So it is going to continue.
I quickly checked.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's going to continue to be a battle between Lopesca and Nick. That's really what it's going to come down to. Lopesca!
And right as you said that, he ran into that repo. So I quickly checked and the track is 493 meters long. Frost is more than half a lap ahead. He's not gonna lap G at this pace, but that's a big and quite scary gap, honestly.
It's very
He's
safe.
really dominating this race.
Yeah. Nick with
And
the
the gaps
honk.
are increasing elsewhere too.
Oh man, I thought he was out of there again with that strange repo right there. Just seems to catch him off guard.
He slipped on the outside and then slid into the inside repo. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, it looked like he had recovered, but yeah, you're exactly right. Just swiping over on that trigger just a little bit, and that's enough. Lopesca! And there's the pass on Nick. The question is he going to be able to hold on to it, though? That's what I'm really curious about. We got 6 laps.
But 6 laps, about 3 minutes. This could get really close again, just as in the previous race. This is between Nick and Powerade, this time between Nick and Lopesca. The chicane is gonna be the most important part. Is either of them gonna get repoed?
And they are! Yeah. Oh.
Nick is the one to get repoed. So it's 40 meters between them. And Lopesca's back in fourth.
And I hear
Nick
a car
has
engine behind Nick. Yeah.
Yeah, G is right behind, about to lap him. Oh! Nicest Nick.
Nick is... Nick has to cede it to Lopesca, or to G. And Lopesca gonna be gaining some more ground. Nick is like, oh no! Nick, he gets set back so far, 100 meters, just like that. He's spinning out some more. Oh man.
Honestly, this is the big issue with those repos, because he made one mistake. He was already gonna lose a lot of time there, and because he went off the track very early, he got repoed
very far
at that spot. Yeah. So that basically decided the race, it seems. I guess he's gonna risk now, but that has to be very frustrating.
Oh, yeah. Because Lopesca and Nick have been passing back these repos back and forth. They've both been having to get repoed at similar spots. Lopesca lets G by, then he gets repoed. There's
still 3 laps for them, but
it's gonna take a Herculean effort from Nick if he wants to catch Lopesca, and more so than that, it's gonna take some nerves on the side of Lopesca, I believe. Powerade getting repoed.
Ross has just begun his final lap.
Incredible.
He gave them about, well, not as much gap, but I think it's similar to the gaps Fam often makes in endurance races.
I think it's really interesting how on 2 different tracks we've seen Frost be the one that gets hit by a big trip up, but then it manages to recover so quickly. Like we saw him in like last place, and he was just boom back in first in the blink of an eye.
Frost is thanking his team Ferrari for the win.
Yeah. Now something I'd like to mention is Powerade has fallen down to just 100 meters from Lopesca if we saw a big repo, but the U-turn, and this actually could be opening the door for Nick if we saw a huge repo from Lopesca. As he runs into the side of the wall, it's going to be losing some more speed. He's now under 100 meters. And let's see, the final repo, he could take it super slow, and he does, but he still gets repoed. It's not going to be enough, though.
Yeah, it's way too far to be of importance. Oh, G needs to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 race left, 4 people. It's Frost, G, Powerade.
And
this one.
this is our rain track. The moment that we've been waiting for, the big reveal. If you've been here from the start, this track might look a little bit familiar, but this time it will be with a very different car and in very different conditions.
Okay, so because of the fact that a G left, if Powerade gets second and Nick gets third, then Lopesca is beaten by Powerade. Nick needs to win to be able to beat Lopesca for third.
So I've got the points pulled back up for us here. And you can see it on the screen for yourself. So it looks like we've got the track set up, ready to go, as well as everyone in the cars. We got 93 points on Frost, 79 on G, but G is going to be headed out. So Lopesca 54, Powerade 49, Nick 45. Anything could happen for both second and third place. I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, we should be good to go. It's gonna be interesting to see who wins the fight for third. Lopesca has to win if he's gonna get second. No, even then he's not gonna get second, because then it would be a tie with G, and they both have 1 win, but G has 3 second places. So
Okay.
second place is decided. First place is decided. It's the fight for third that we're looking out for. And that could be interesting, honestly.
And it's a 3-way for it too. And keep in mind that this is a money position as well. So money still on the line here, despite the way that the races have turned out so far. Lopesca, Nick, and Powerade, all eyes are going to be on them as we head into our finale.
So let's see who gets off to a good wet weather start. They seems to be still side by side. Powerade cuts across Lopesca.
Woo!
I don't think Lopesca was anticipating the dry in the tunnel. That's what gave Powerade the edge there.
Oh,
Powerade and Nick.
Now, if you remember, we did talk about that bump in the previous race. No one actually hit it like that, but we were saying if you run head on onto that bump like that, it will be very bad. Frost struggling, goes for the wall ride, but Lopesca going to be hitting him as well, and is going to make him spin out. He's got his work cut out for him.
Lopesca spins into chicane. Honestly, already quite hard.
It's going to be very difficult. Powerade. with an early lead. We can go ahead and tune into him for this next lap.
I feel like Lopezka might lose second to Frost soon, assuming that Frost has practiced its track, because...
Powerade gonna get launched. Didn't adapt from the first lap where that happened, or maybe didn't see it, but is going to get launched straight up into the sky.
First lap he also ran into the curb.
Oh, it was him as well. That. Now you see they are really going for
he survived it, unlike Nick.
Now they are going for full-on wall rides, and I did think that was a possibility, but for reasons like we just saw, well, that chicane wasn't exactly a wall ride, but at the end of the chicane they do go for the wall ride. But these wall rides are they're not perfect. Like a lot of the times there's a bump that starts right after the wall ride that you have to dodge, and when you dodge it you could spin out, things like that. So we actually saw Frost not go for the wall ride. It goes for it at the very end on that turn, but then on this other the huge U-turn coming up, we also saw him choose to not wall ride it. Wall riding much less on all of these turns. Yeah, it just goes for the spin and holds on. That's for when I was practicing the track, that was the line that stood out to me much more than the full-on wall ride.
So the chicane is coming up. Powerade is gonna get between the two walls. I think Frost is just going safe. He knows he won the session. He wants to drive clean.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he practices it like that, so...
well, he helped Powerade out quite a lot there. Kind of pushed him into the forward position and got him on his way.
So, if Powerade wins, he's guaranteed third in the final standings. But, for that, he needs to beat Frost, which is gonna be the harder part. Lopezka has been able to fight in some of the previous races, so he should be able to do that. But if Powerade gets second... Oh, yeah. Like I've said, Lopezka and Powerade were close in previous races, and now Lopezka makes a huge mistake.
Yeah, and something to note is that he got the repo on at the start of the upslope. So he literally had to go on that full upslope from 0 kph. So it's going to result in 70 meters.
I'd also like to say that if Powerade doesn't win... Oh, Frost clipped the curb. He managed to go. So if Powerade doesn't win it, Lopezka needs to be forced for him to get third in the standings. Oh, that was dirty. That was dirty.
Yeah, he said no. I'm actually I'm driving here, not you.
He's really running for that set position in the overall standings.
And Frost with the mistake. And he's a little bit trapped on that upward slope, 50 meters for Powerade. And Lopezka approaching second, but he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch Powerade. 21 laps, which means we are about, a third to a fourth of the way down with this track. Somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Frost practiced with minimal wall riding, because it looks like he's very careful on them. It looks like he doesn't know how they work exactly, where to enter them and how to not crash. As we've seen him climb the curb a lap or two ago.
And to be honest with y'all, I did consider doing like a no wall ride kind of rule, but the thing is, it's so hard to judge something like that. Like, I mean, it's inevitable that you wall ride some, and I figured...
I think rather the harder part is enforcing that rule, because...
Exactly.
If we had walls like in Trackmania, which slowed you down for a second or two, I think it could work, like, if we had that as an option. Like, to put them on track.
That's a great idea, actually.
But I think that needs to be implemented on the game side, so it's a lot harder. Meanwhile, Nick in the back hits the wall. I think Lopesca is safe from Nick, which means that Favorite really has to run for that win.
Yeah, needs to secure this dub against Frost, and Frost is like, I mean, if you're Power 8, you do not want to see Frost 40 meters behind you. It's better than being 40 meters behind him, but still, it's not the best spot. So,
yeah, but as we've seen, Favorite is gonna fight for this with tooth and nail.
Absolutely.
So, Frost gains a lot in that chicane.
Yeah. We saw Power 8 have to slow down quite a bit to dodge that point where the two walls intersect, and you can just go flying if you hit it at that spot. So, or the opposite, you can get completely stuck. So, good on him to avoid that, but at the same time, it's going to cost a lot.
Frost is, I think, clearly a bit faster, but he needs consistency for one thing. Oh, yeah, just as I say that, he crashes. And for another, he needs to get by Power 8. Because it seems like he's defending, he's running for his life in this race.
Oh, yeah.
The way we've seen that dive bomb.
And something else I should mention is that Lopesca is getting a bit close to Frostbitten, especially on the back of that mistake by Frost, which could also be relevant. I mean, it's like not only is Frost chasing Power 8, but Lopesca could also be potentially chasing Power 8. So Power 8, he's got it locked down right now, but needs to keep the same tempo.
Not that much. Frost gained a bit somewhere.
You're actually, yeah, you're completely right. Oh my god, and he just cuts the corner, no problem.
He clipped the curb just enough for it to be actually good for him.
Guys,
and turn him better. That was really nice.
It actually doesn't get him a best lap though. He's sitting at 47.9, and we got 48.7 for Power 8. 48.1 for Lopesca, so 48.1 for Nick as well.
In the meantime, Frost clipped the curve again, which cost him like 10 meters. This is big because he got close to Power 8 again, but he lost a bit of time. Let's see what he can do in the chicane this time. Power 8 is going fairly safe, I think, and then comes Frost.
Oh, man, it's a pass. It's an overtake. It is an overtake.
Wow. So there's 10 laps left.
Do we know what happens if Nick passes Lopesca and Power 8
if Nick
gets
passes
second?
Lopesca, that's also enough for Power 8. I've not been bringing it up because Nick is quite a bit behind.
It's close enough, honestly, considering how devastating mistakes can be in the rain on a car like this.
Yeah, that's true, but Nick was like 160, I think, and he is climbing back. So now it's definitely a possibility. Ooh, he makes
Power
a small
looking
mistake.
good. I don't know if you just saw that, but Power 8 just got some nice time. After the U-turn and Frost flipping. Power 8 taking it back for the moment. Frost on the inside. It is going to be Power 8.
Is going to vote right, so that's definitely safer. I don't know if faster. So Power is leading again, which would give third place overall to him. Power is for riding, Frost for riding. Neither of them clipped the curb. Power 8 wallbangs. I don't think that part was intentional, but he carried too much speed for him to turn normally. He's wall riding here again.
Woo!
Frost is gaining a bit, but Power 8's lines might be safer.
I mean, Frost on that downslope. Power 8, it's not just Power 8. All of them are kind of just going for the flat wall ride, and Frost.
And this time Frost hit the wall that's standing out.
And
I think
that's
I've
what we've
seen
been
Nick
talking
do that
about.
before.
You can't wall ride that. But what I was saying was that on that downward slope, we see almost all the contestants straight wall riding it, but Frost takes that diagonal turn and it's just super clean. And honestly, it's not that difficult to execute. I think that they should be doing that. Obviously, you know, if that's what you've been practicing, then stick with it. But yeah, like that, Frost, I do think he's gaining time over the wall ride. He definitely did last lap. It wasn't as clean this lap, but is going to be sitting at 20 meters. And noticeably, Lopesca still 50 meters behind.
Oh, Frost this time also had a very clean chicane there. It seems like Pavret's wall ride in the last turn is beneficial. Wonder if Frost is gonna go for that in the upcoming laps. It does a low 48 for sure. I mean Frost. Pavret still has a best lap of 48.7.
That's crazy.
Frost can clearly go faster, but
making some uncharacteristic mistakes.
Yeah, and it's also about check position and defending here. But yeah, it's more down to his mistakes. Pavret is definitely motivated here. Oh,
yeah. I mean, it was so effective when Powerade did that cutoff.
Oh, this is gonna be close in the chicane. Pavret is gonna take it slower as usual. This time, is Frost gonna go for the wall? I think. Oh, he cut across too soon. He cut across too soon and couldn't get advantage of his lines because he was gonna head into the inside wall. He wanted to do another over-under and that didn't work out. So Power is still ahead.
Right, and on that U-turn we saw Powerade go for a late wall ride and then he slams his car into the side and that loses time. It was quite effective at defending against Frost, but when you're not defending against a car, and there we go. We do see the more full wall ride this time around. Frost pushing Powerade.
They're gonna go side by side into the chicane? No. But Frost is definitely faster here, so they need to be careful.
Powerade did not get the repo there. Looked so close. And yeah, 2 meters. 5 laps to go. Let's see. Lopesca falling down to about 100 meters. Nick still about 165. Is recoverable.
Oh, Frost is gonna be ahead here. But Powerade's wall ride puts him a bit ahead.
And Frost goes for it. He tries to steal Powerade's move. It isn't gonna be effective.
Yeah, the dive bomb in the U-turn is definitely something to go for. The chicane is gonna be better for Frost again, I think. Yes. Is
Quite
he gonna
nice
gain much
Powerade,
time here? Yeah, that last turn was really nice by Frost as well. So it's right behind him. There's no slipstream here. Frost really must wish for that right now.
And y'all, that upslope turn is so hard. You start to lose control. But he uses that right wall to balance himself a lot of the times, and it works out. Frost, 0 meters. Pushing Pariello, and here we go. This is that time save, and he
blocked the wall right. I'm not sure he blocked it intentionally.
And then Powerade blocks it.
That is what they call slide job in dirt oval racing, but Frost is back ahead. And he's gonna have a clean chicane all by himself. So he can build a bit of a comfortable gap right now. Powerade goes for the wall right though.
I told you,
he runs
it's
into
risky.
the back of Frost. He runs into the back of Frost, and that's why he couldn't use his momentum to get ahead. So this time they change positions though, and Frost is barely ahead. So, Frost runs into the curb. The wall ride is gonna benefit Frost here.
Yeah.
But the push from Powerade was too much to handle for Frost.
How?
And because of this, Powerade is back ahead. Frost cannot block Powerade here. Frost is gonna do the slide jump. Frost is gonna do the slide jump.
But oh no, Powerade
Big
with the
mistake.
spin out, and oh no, the numbers are just ticking. 60 meters, and lap 19 and 21. It's gotta be crushing. And Nick has fallen quite a ways behind Lopesca.
Favorite needs a miracle here.
not
Lopeska
over.
is making mistakes,
have
but 300
seen-
meters.
I don't know if we've seen Frost lose 80 meters in a single mistake, but we've seen Frost making mistakes. So I would be hard pressed to say that it's entirely over, but you're absolutely right. It is going to take some mistakes from Frost at this point.
Yeah, and so what we've seen from them in the U-turn is what they call a slide job in NASCAR, or in dirt oval racing, when someone goes down the inside and tries to cut across the person who's using the high side, because the high side would be faster by default, but they can't accelerate because of the other car being there.
Right.
And the reason the high side is better is because you get to keep the momentum. And that's somewhat what they were doing here, although they used a wall ride instead of a better high side, but... or a high line, but... it's the last lap and it's still 80 meters.
Quite a big ask for Pirate here. We will see if he is able to lock it down on this final lap. But Frost is who we should really be watching, because it's going to take a mistake in the chicanery right here. Does he hit the wall? Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think he's going for the best lap here.
Nails it. Oh, no!
Oh.
No! Oh! Oh, it's not enough.
Gonna be
it's
enough.
not enough, but holy
He was
shit.
definitely going for the
Holy
best
shit,
lap
but
right
it's
there.
not enough.
It didn't matter much at first, so I think he was just... why not? And Powerade almost benefited a lot from that, but
Man.
it seems like Lopeska is gonna get third
We will
in the
have to
championship.
do the tabulations here, but a shout out to Artsu, shout out to Steve's Camp. Y'all still checking it out. Y'all got to see the race of their
Make it
lives.
in the pit lane.
Let's see the final points. And let's go ahead and pull it up. Oh, man.
Nick finished in the pits.
Nick finishing in
Again.
the pits.
Yet again.
So you can see on the screen here, it is going to be Lopeska taking it over Powerade by a mere 2 points. If he was able to hold out in those final laps, could have gotten third place, but is ultimately going to be Lopeska holding on to that third place. G raced so well that he didn't even need to race the last one. He could have been a contender for first place. Unfortunately, had to leave. So it is going to be Frost in first, winning a lion's share of the cash for this month. G in second, still getting a nice sizable amount, and Lopeska finishing up in third. So, that is, I guess that's going to do it for us. The commiserations going out in the chat, the Revolt chat, and,
I know we had an intense fight last time, but I think this was even more exciting and close.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
Also, it was car versus car.
Right. I was worried about this track and car combination. I really was, and I'm super happy with the way it turned out. Super close race, good decider, and ultimately congratulations to Frost, G, and Lopeska.
Yeah, congratulations to them. Lopeska did fight hard. I think Powerade would have also deserved it, but Lopeska was more consistent in the end. And he got more third places, so it's a well-deserved third place.
Okay, I guess that's gonna do it for us for this month. This was our circuit races, our circuits cup, and next month might be bringing it to you with like best lap or something like that. Not quite sure on the details, but we do know for sure this will be happening. So tune in.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I think best laps would be an interesting idea, but I don't know how broadcastable that is because you can only broadcast one car at a time.
Ooh.
But we'll see.
We will. We will.
We'll see. So
But-
thank you for joining. Thank you for chatting, and I think this was a really enjoyable.
Yes.
Event.
Always so surprised by the turnout for these monthly cups, the chatters chatting, the viewers viewing. So happy that y'all are getting as much enjoyment out of this as we are. And we will see you next month. Unless you got anything else you'd like to say, I guess our broadcast ends here, Duck.
I don't think I have anything more to say. Hope you'll tune in next month as well. And also hope we have more joiners. I think that could make the races more exciting.
For sure, but still, the best of the best is who showed up for today, and it was a battle for the ages. So, congratulations once again, Frost, G, and Lopesca, Powerade, and Nick. Ultimately, not going to make it, but so close in the points. Really could have gone either way. Congratulations, and we'll see you next month.